George Thorogood and the Destroyers are coming to Tampa in March. Today we are getting a preview. No, this is not George, obviously. It is Shane Penley, and we're so excited you're here. How have you been?
I've been great. How are you?
I'm well. I feel like we always see you out and about in the community.
I know. So good to see you.
It is. It's nice to have you here. Yeah. So let's talk about this concert, of course, because I know a lot of people have this marked on their calendars.
Oh, yeah. They should.
They should. Talk about your involvement and the relationship now that you've been able to build with George, which is even more exciting as he gets ready to come into Tampa.
Yeah, we're a marketing company, Outsweet Marketing, and we have been doing classes. We do classes all over the country. So we invited the tour manager in Nashville at an event we were doing. He sat and took notes, and we met with him afterwards, and they said, hey, we'd love for you to do this for George Thorogood and the Destroyers. We said, absolutely, this would be great. So we started working with them in 2019, and then at the end, we actually looked and saw that we increased ticket sales by close to 33%.
Oh, wow.
So, hence now we're doing more video, we're doing marketing, we're doing social, we're doing all of those things for them. So March 5th is the venue, is the show at Ruth Eckerd Hall, so we're excited to get George back.
And one of the things you were telling about, you actually got to do is sit down and you put it on tape so that we can take a look at it, because what I loved is that he actually gives Ruth Eckerd some love, right?
Oh, he does. So it was one of the questions I asked, but we had like 30 to 40 questions, an interview process. We went out to Hollywood and interviewed him, and he's so great. I don't know where he gets the energy, but amazing, right? So we sat down, and that was one of the questions I asked about Ruth Eckerd Hall and coming March 5th in the venue.
Well, nice. Well, let's take a look at that.
John Valentine and Phantasma, and the great John, his boss, John Stoll. Since we worked with them in 1981, they never miffed us. They always gave us the best room, the best fans, the best time of year. And they knew what they were doing. We never played to an empty room, and we never played to a room that wasn't over-the-top enthusiastic about it. They always took care of us.
I love that. And he has such an iconic voice, to hear in the songs, that I know people are really excited about this concert. Yeah. But just being able to spend time, anything that you learned that maybe surprised you as a fan, then putting the work hat on as promoter?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the legend, like, he's a legend. Like, you think of how many people know his songs, one bourbon, one scotch, one beer. I mean, like, all of these, Bad to the Bone, I mean, all of the songs that you're like, oh yeah, he did that in the band. But he's phenomenal. The band is phenomenal. And if you haven't seen them, you've got to see them, because they put on such a fun show, blues, rock, and they just light up the place. So, have you ever seen them?
I have not. No. Okay. I was gonna say, you're doing it, and it's funny because I did the same thing.
To talk and get you into the show, right?
Hey, sign me up. Well, and it's funny too because you were doing the same thing, talking about different songs, and you're like, oh yeah, wait a second, they did that and they did that. That's kind of the response I was having in my head. Yeah.
So we did all these segments for George Thorogood and the Destroyers, and we're going to be releasing them on his Instagram, which is George Thorogood Official. So if you go there, you can kind of see some of the segments. You can also go to Outsweet Marketing on Instagram as well. We're going to release some of those. But just listening, I mean, you're talking about someone who's open for the Stones, Dylan, I mean, has worked with so many iconic musicians as well. But for him, the respect that I learned of how people feel about George Thorogood and the band and so on is absolutely amazing.
Well, you know what's interesting, and I like your involvement in this, because you think of these bands that are still around, that are still touring, like you say, you don't know how they have the energy. Yeah. But then you think of all the new bands and new musicians, and social networking is such a huge part. Yeah. And these other bands are probably thinking like, we didn't have that back in the day, and look what we were able to do. So it's almost like you're able to bridge that gap a little bit, right?
Yeah, and the touring, they just wrapped up Australia, New Zealand. Now they're here, and they got some dates in Canada, and then they're going to over to Europe in July. I mean, they're just non-stop. And the show, they put everything into their show, and it's just I've seen them a few times at Ruth Eckerd Hall. So, and the involvement with Ruth Eckerd is really amazing. He loves it. We talked a little bit about that on the one of the interview pieces, but yeah, really exciting.
And let's talk too. You're kind of taking care of maybe some people, or at least you're putting a contest out there.
Yeah, so we got a contest. Everyone jumped in on this and said, yeah, let's do a little contest. So we have gtdcontest.com. Okay. So George Thorogood Destroyers Contest.com, and giving away a pair of tickets, a meet and greet with him and the band, and then like a little, souvenir kind of basket, shirts, hats, that kind of stuff. Nice. For a lucky person.
Good stuff.
So the show's on the 5th, and then we're going to announce the winner on the 3rd.
There you go. And you know what? I just saw that website on the bottom there. There it is again. Ruth Eckerd Hall is where it's happening. There's also their website too. Thank you so much, Shane. Always a treat to see you.
Good to see you.
We're kicking off Mardi Gras with a cake that is guaranteed to keep the party going and going and going and going.